Welcome back, Best Wines Online Tasting Room. And with us today, we have the Alberto Chiarlo from the, would you say it's a Cantina Michele Chiarlo?
Yes.
Chiarlo? Yeah, it's
yes.
a good size.
Well,
from Michele Chiarlo, which is one of the greatest estates in the Piedmont region of Northwestern Italy. And, you know, first of all, Alberto, grazie for coming to join us today. This is fantastic. This is good stuff here. And I'm so stoked that Alberto's here because we actually get a chance to talk about Nebbiolo. Now, some of you may know that the famous Barolo wines from Piedmont are made out of the Nebbiolo grape. Some of you may not. Some of you may think that Barolo was the grape in here. And of course, when we come from an American perspective with Cabernet Sauvignon, Chardonnay on the label, it's easy to think that, I had a Barolo the other day. It's a very nice grape. I love it. But in fact, Barolo is 100% Nebbiolo. And Barolo has this fabulous mystique, this fabulous, this mystery to the wine, this fabulous, reputation. But now, Alberto, and I say this in the nicest way, from an American standpoint, sometimes when Americans look at Nebbiolo, they see, the wine's not very dark. The wine's not, it's a little brown on the edge. It's a little, it looks kind of old.
Well, this, I've been repeating for 10 years, never trust a black Barolo, because
Never trust.
Barolo is not, it's not a wine with a lot of color, no?
No.
It's born with this garnet red of medium intensity that you could think that is already a mature wine.
Right.
And instead it's signature, let's say.
Yeah.
But I have to say that we sell our Barolo in more than 60 countries, but nowadays US is one of the more, not only one of the biggest, but one of the more mature.
Yeah.
Because, the quality of knowledge that there is on Barolo in US, in terms of, first of all, about the color. Because when they arrive in a big tasting, they say, oh, what a beautiful color nowadays about that. And so for us is, as you can imagine, proudness. But also because they know very well the single vineyard. Most of sommeliers that have come in Barolo, not only for drinking, but for eating too. Because you know that we are out of Paris and Tokyo, the area in the world with the highest number of top restaurant Michelin star. So we are the white truffle. That is a good combination.
Whenever you're in Piedmont, you can actually just fall into a place, and it'll be oh my gosh, there's so many great like Ciao Tonavento or the Ostriabello or things like that. Places just along the street, and you think, oh, this looks like a nice place to eat, and you walk in and you have one of the greatest meals of your life.
Well, and then for making a small advertising also to our restaurant, they also have very good price quality, because in one Michelin star with a good bottle of Barolo, you drink for 70, 75 euro.
Yeah.
That, is something, no?
Ridiculous. Now, was the cuisine and the wine kind of grew up together?
Yes.
So, because Nebbiolo is first of all, tell me a little about Nebbiolo, about the structure, kind of like the magic of this grape.
They make this comparison a lot of time with Pinot Noir, no? Because for winemakers, they are the two most difficult grapes to ripe. And we describe a lot of time Nebbiolo like Pinot Noir with a armor. And the armor are the tannins.
The armor,
because the tannins are important. But Nebbiolo is like Pinot, very connected with the soil. We had a lot of Piedmont people that they were doing emigration at the beginning of 20th century. A lot they came to California. A lot they went to Argentina. If you check the name of the winery, you find the Piemonte names.
Yeah.
And you find the Piemonte varietals also. I was tasting very good Barberas, for example, but almost never a good Nebbiolo out of it. Because Nebbiolo needs that specific type of soil, first of all. A very white soil, very calcareous soil. And a very specific microclimate too. And for this reason, only the area of Barolo and Barbaresco in the south of Piemonte and the area of Gattinara and Gemme in the north of Piemonte usually create big Nebbiolo. We even tried to plant a Nebbiolo in Asti that is only 20 kilometers from Barolo, but it's not working because in Asti we have got 1/3 of the calcareous that there is in Barolo. So calcareous is really the first key for making a very good wine.
It's a difficult grape to grow?
Yes, you can bet on that. because it's, the shape of the buncheon is very long, and also the berries, they are quite small. So it's almost impossible to find a buncheon of Nebbiolo that is completely ripe in the same moment. For this reason, ourselves, like other producers, my father has been one of the first in Italy doing green harvest. We focus a lot on green harvest. And especially in Nebbiolo, we do a special type of green harvest that we cut every buncheon, we cut the tail. So let's say that we always leave 1 kilo per vine, but instead of leaving 5 buncheons, we leave 10 half buncheons. Because doing like that, you create a smaller grape that is easier to ripe in a better way, but also if the rain is arriving, is not affecting so badly.
And now Nebbiolo has, I read, it has the longest growing season.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you guys are biting your nails.
Yeah.
At the end of the season, looking at the sky, waiting, looking at the sky, waiting.
Well, first of all, unfortunately, or fortunately, we are very close to the mountain. Piedmont means at the foot of the mountain. And so the weather can change very quickly. For example, in 2002, it looked like one of the best harvests ever. Then on the 25th of September, in half an hour, we have been destroyed. Cerrecchio, Cannubia and Brunate, all the single vineyard. And so, yes, it's very late varietal. Most people, they say that even the name Nebbiolo means the foggy one, because when you pick up the grapes, sometimes there is the fog. I personally remember a vintage of 96 that there was the fog in the vineyard, and it was like being in the purgatory of Dante, because you could not see each other, and was not the easiest. But, at the end, for example, 96, that at the beginning was very difficult to drink, was very acidic, and now is showing wonderful. So this is part of your using the right term, the mystic of Nebbiolo that makes difference.
Now, early on, you compared Nebbiolo to Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
And in Nebbiolo, there's almost like a vineyard hierarchy, just like there is in Burgundy.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And Cerrecchio is one of the undisputed, Grand Cru, you would call them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And one of the top vineyards. Why is this vineyard a Grand Cru vineyard?
Well, as you said, there is a classification. The first was in 1880, and for this one, Cerrecchio was the only that was first growth. But for us, the one that is really important is one in the 60s, made by Veronelli and Renato Ratti. Yeah, and as you said, Cerrecchio, together with Cannubi, Bussia, Brunate, is one of the 4 or 5 top single vineyards. So the reason for which is famous? Well, first of all, the shape of the hill, that is a kind of amphitheater. So it is south-facing, and is the very first vineyard having the sun in the morning. So if you come, as I hope, you will see that when all the vineyards are still under the shade, Cerrecchio has already sun. The second thing is the composition of the soil, because it's the richer of magnesium. If you break the soil of Cerrecchio, you see blue vein. And these two things combined create usually a Barolo. I'm not speaking only about our Cerrecchio, but also Gaia, Voerz, Contratto, the other producers make, that the critics, they say that they always recognize a blind tasting because it has this balsamic side, a little the freshness, the mint, that is not so easy to find in others.
Friggin' perfume of great Nebbiolo. It is the most aromatic red grape, at least red grape variety in the world.
Yes.
I think, without a doubt. I mean, you can get lost in the glass. Like there's some Nebbiolos you almost don't have to drink.
Well, the greatest writer of Piedmont was Cesare Pavese, that was Literature Nobel Award in '52. He said, for drinking a Barolo, you need 3 noses or a big nose like the one from us from Piedmont, because it's something about the nose. We really want people to drink Barolo with the nose, first of all, because that's what makes the difference, One
of the very few wines in the world where you just stop in your tracks before you even get to taste it.
Yes. But this has always been the characteristic of Nebbiolo. What, as we have been working in the last 30 years, is about making it more approachable also when it's young. Yeah. And for making it approachable only when it's young, we have to arrive to the ripeness of the grape. Not because we do not like to over oak our Barolo, so we do not use new barrique or things like that. And for arriving to the ripeness in the vineyard, once again, green harvest, but also arriving to the polyphenolic maturation. Phenolic maturation is what makes the difference, because as we said in advance, tannins are key.
Would you say that's been one of the major changes in the last 10, 15 years is the work in the vineyard to get that polyphenolic ripeness?
Yes, and also, Piedmont, not only restaurant and food and wine, but also we are the capital of the wine machine in the world. We have our French friends, the California friends, that they come to buy the new machine. So, we are quite expert in wine making. They say because it's so difficult to make wine in Piedmont that you can do, if you can do in Piedmont, you can do everywhere.
You can do it anywhere.
No, this is American, if I remember well.
Hey, California's easy. The sun's out all the time, so. All right, Nebbiolo 101 with the great Alberto Chiarlo. Alberto, thank you so much for coming, man. That was hot.
Grazie
cool.
molto.
Grazie.